Okay, here we go. Did you know there are real life zombies? In the animal kingdom, it has not jumped to the human species yet. Thank God, because we just started 2022 and the past couple of years have been really fucked up. So let's not jinx ourselves. But yes, zombies really do exist. Let's get into it. Now, zombies are usually something that you see in a horror movie or TV show, sci-fi novels, things like that. But we're going to talk about how it happens in real life. Something that I don't think a lot of people really talk about or really know about, unless you're kind of nerdy. From parasites to fungi to bugs, worms, all kinds of shit. They're spreading like crazy amongst the animal kingdom. And so here we go. The first one has to do with bugs that we normally don't really care for, especially if you have like citrus trees. Cicadas. I think I said that right. Cicadas. Sounds right. Anyway, no one likes them anyway. They actually get infected with a fungi called Massapora fungi, which, I know this sounds weird. It rapidly consumes a cicada's butt, genitals, abdomens, and it makes their libido like go through the roof. Like they want to hump everything basically. But this fungi, it doesn't sound like a fungi at all. It sounds like a fucking horrible guy. Anyway, they just try to mate with everything that they come into contact with. The next one is a little more recent that I know of anyway, the past couple of years. It's called chronic wasting disease. It's a neurodegenerative disease found in hooved animals like deer, elk, moose, where basically they rapidly lose weight, they start drooling, they stumble, they act confused, and eventually they just die. Now, people who hunt these animals where it's been found in the area, they're asked not to consume the animal. Or I think they can go get it tested now. I'm not 100% sure on that, but don't eat those animals if that disease is in your area. There have been neurodegenerative diseases in the past that humans have got, such as mad cow disease. There was another one in Papua New Guinea in the 50s and 60s, I think, called Kuru. I think that's what how it's pronounced. But we don't want those things, so don't eat these animals. No one wants chronic wasting disease, trust me. Moving on. One we all are kind of familiar with is called rabies. I don't know who gets rabies anymore. I really don't. Rabies is actually spread by several different animals, from bats to raccoons, dogs. I mean, dogs get vaccinated for rabies all the time. Basically anything that is bit by another animal with rabies will get rabies. It causes delirium, partial paralysis, and hypersalivation if left untreated. Basically, you run a high fever, you go crazy. Your brain starts frying, basically. And if you're not treated very quickly, you will die from rabies. So yeah, you start acting all out of control and you want to bite other people and you act crazy. So let's not go all Walking Dead. All right. African sleeping sickness. It's actually caused by the bite of a tsetse fly in Africa. The disease can affect many different types of animals, cattle, all different types of mammals, sheep, elephants, primates, and humans. Humans. Yes, humans. I said humans. Basically what happens is when you get bit by this fly, you start losing your hair and then you get weaker and weaker until paralysis sets in. And what happens is you stay up all night and you just want to sleep during the day. So basically it's like your internal sleeping clock goes backwards. Unless you're just one of those people who's more of a night owl. So get tested though if you don't feel very good. Your hair starts falling out. People start experiencing fevers and muscle aches, mental delirium, personality changes, and problems with walking and balance. Ooh. Now, there is no vaccine for African walking sickness, but if you catch it quick enough, that there are medications that you can take to help with the infection from this stupid fucking fly. This next one is a parasitic fungus. No thank you. This one actually originates in Brazil. What it'll do is it'll become airborne, or something comes in contact with it and kind of like spreads it around. Basically what it does is hijacks the brain and the nervous system of carpenter ants, causing them just to act very erratic. They'll start eating each other, and then the fungus will grow inside the head of these carpenter ants, and it'll kind of start like sprouting out like when you plant a seed. It'll just like produce itself even more from the it hijacks the body of these fucking ants, and it grows itself even more, causing it to spread and infect more ants. That's fucking scary. That's like some sci-fi movie shit. That is crazy. Isn't that crazy? Oh my God. That doesn't sound like a good time at all. Okay, the next one is actually a bug. It's a bug. It's a fucking bug. Can you believe that? A bug. It's called the emerald cockroach wasp, also known as the jewel wasp. Can manipulate cockroaches' behaviors, forcing them into servitude. So you're like a zombie slave. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So in a 2014 study, the wasp first paralyzes its victims with one sting. The sting makes the roach helpless for a few seconds. It stabs the roach in the brain with its stinger, which, I mean, I think that would stop anything. Kind of like, what the fuck happened? It gives the wasp complete control over the cockroach. The bug eventually regains its ability to move, but it can no longer initiate its own action. The wasp controls the body and the mind of this cockroach. That's gross. Nobody likes cockroaches anyway. I don't even think people like wasps, but it's... Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh my God. And then what'll happen is the wasp will lay eggs inside the abdomen of the cockroach so that it can incubate the eggs basically for the wasp. And then what happens is the wasp babies will like hatch, and like it turns into a whole Aliens type deal where it's just like, wah, it just comes out of the belly. And then we have more of these zombie mind controlling wasps. Yay. That's pretty messed up, man. That's pretty messed up. Okay. This next one kind of makes me a little sad a little bit, because it happens to roly-polies, and I like roly-polies because they're cute and they're kind of fun to like roll around and play with. Roly-polies are actually called pill bugs or potato bugs. They've got like a whole bunch of names, but I think the most common name for them is a roly-poly. The ones that look like little tiny armadillos that if you get too close to them, they roll up in a little ball and you could just kind of flick them and they'll roll. I'm not trying to be mean. But you know, we all did it as kids. There is actually a parasitic worm that will take over the body of a roly-poly. I'm just going to keep calling them roly-polies. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's a long word. Acanthocephalans. Acanthocephalans. Sounds like I said it wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. I'll probably put it I'll word it somewhere right here so you guys can see. But basically it's a parasitic worm. It needs to get inside of the digestive tract of birds in order to mature fully and reproduce. So what this parasitic worm does is it inhabits a roly-poly, and it will take over the mind of the roly-poly and cause it to not have, just like all these other things, not have any will of its own. Roly-polies like to stay in dark places where they can't be seen by things like birds and other prey to be eaten. And they also kind of like to come out at night. So what this parasitic worm will do is it will make the roly-poly come out in broad daylight and go into light-colored areas so that a bird will eat it, so that the parasitic worm can now inhabit the body get into the digestive tract of the bird, mature, and reproduce. That's fucked up also. Poor roly-polies. I love roly-polies. They don't do nothing to nobody that I know of, except for infect birds. An Ecuadorian wasp can turn spiders into zombies to do its bidding. Wahahaha. A lot of these wasps, there's lots of wasps and lots of fungus. That, oh, we had murder hornets. Those aren't wasps though, those are hornets. Anything that looks like that, I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with it. Okay, the Zadypoda wasp, I probably said that wrong too, whatever, lays eggs in the abdomen of the Ankylosaurs. I don't know. The Zadypoda wasp lays eggs in the abdomen of a spider. And it's a type of social spider, kind of like I guess like a daddy long legs maybe, one that's not really harmful to anybody. The spider is known to cooperate with thousands of family members in a communal home, share hunting, parenting, and feeding duties. So yeah, it's just a communal one. Like, you know, it's not like a solitary spider, like a black widow or something, you know, they like to hang out together. Probably the ones you see in clusters, like on YouTube, where like somebody breaks the cluster and they all just scatter everywhere and you're like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? Like one of those kind of spiders. The wasp will attack the spider and lay its eggs in it, which causes the spider to change its behavior and act very erratic, very, very erratic. It forces the spider to move away from its communal nest. The spider then creates a cocoon-shaped web of its own, and the larva feeds on its spider's victim's blood until the arachnid dies. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Oh, barnacles. Some barnacles take over crabs' bodies and castrates the crustacean in the process. That's great. Instead of attaching themselves on rocks, the Saculina carcini barnacle larvae settle into crabs' abdomens. Now, I didn't really think much of a barnacle for being a living thing. I just kind of, I don't know. I never really thought of a barnacle like that. I don't really think of barnacles at all. I've seen them all the time, but I never really thought of barnacles as like a living thing. Anyway, they inject the crab with a parasite that slowly spreads through the unwilling creature's body and takes over its brain, like all these other fucking things that are going on. The barnacle then castrates the crab, and the crustacean becomes the home of the new baby barnacles before the parasites fully kill it. It's just like everything's just a fucking host. It's just a host. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. There's another one that I saw the other day. I can't really find it now. Where it's a parasitic worm that infects fish, like a certain kind of fish. And basically the entire school of fish will become infected with this parasitic worm. And then the birds will eat it. And then the birds will become infected with it. I gotta find it. I gotta find that. The Monterey Bay Aquarium, they kind of found a zombie worm. And basically they eat the bones of whale carcasses, but they really want to eat brains. And apparently the worms are not picky. If it's got bones, it'll eat it. So, okay. But in 2021, apparently Russia brought back a frozen zombie worm after being dead for over 24,000 years. See, we need to stop doing shit like that because we don't know what's going on. Russian scientists have resurrected a zombie worm that had been frozen for 24,000 years. Yay! And studies show that this creature has the potential to live for millions of years. Yay, yay. It's just these were frozen, so they had to defrost them. We're fucked. these things were dug up from a Siberian permafrost, and that these creatures also reproduce asexually, meaning they do not have to have a partner to reproduce. That's even better. What the fuck are we doing? Make Russia stop it! So that was some examples of zombies in nature. And I guess some have spread to us in some ways, but not really. Only maybe the neurodegenerative ones like mad cow disease and Kuru from Papua New Guinea. But other than that, nothing else has spread to us yet. Fingers crossed. Let's hope 2022 is going to be great. Everything is going to get better, right? Right? Please. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss another episode of Any Last Words. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys have a killer weekend, and I hope you have nightmares about me.